Forward TV. The world is thinking.
All the issues that the Rushdie affair raised, like the nature of Islam, its relationship to the West, the meaning of multiculturalism, the limits of tolerance in a liberal society, the boundaries of free speech and so on, these have become, at that time, in 1989, they seemed very new issues. These have now become central issues, defining issues of the age. And the politics of the pre-Rushdie age are what now seems highly anomalous. It's now become widely accepted that we live in a multicultural world, that in such a world it's important not to give offence to other peoples and to other cultures. The British sociologist Tariq Madood has put it like this. He said, if people are to occupy the same political space without conflict, they mutually have to limit the extent to which they subject each other's fundamental beliefs to criticism. Now, when the book was published, when the Satanic Verses was published, Rushdie said, it would be absurd to think that books can cause riots. That's a very strange view of the world. Well, these days, we've come to accept that books do indeed cause riots, and that we must therefore be careful about what books we write, or what drawings we do, or what things we say, because they cause riots. And that pre-Rushdie world itself now seems a different age and a different world. And to see how much things have changed, how much things have shifted in the past 20 years, we only have to compare the response to the Satanic Verses to the response to the Jewel of Medina. Now, you've probably heard of Jewel of Medina. It's a book by an American journalist called Sherry Jones. It's a kind of breezy, romantic, almost Milton Boonish type of story about Aisha, Muhammad's youngest wife. And it had originally been bought by the American publishers Random House for $100,000. Then an American academic, Denise Spellberg, to whom the book had been sent to try and get an endorsement, they'd stick on the back of the book, a shout to stick on the back, declared that it was offensive. And Random House immediately dropped the book. And no other major American publishing house would touch it. And you can see the contrast. In 1989, even a fatwa was not sufficient to stop the publication of the Satanic Verses. Penguin it received death threats. Rushdie was in hiding for a decade. Publishers, translators were murdered over the Satanic Verses, yet Penguin never wavered in its commitment to keep it published. Today, all it requires is a letter from an outraged academic for every publisher, or every major publisher, to run for cover. And in a sense, what those 20 years, what the different responses to the Satanic Verses and the Jewel of Medina shows, is how the fatwa has effectively become internalized in the past 20 years. Nobody needs to give a fatwa anymore, because publishers, writers, editors, everyone does it themselves.